Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live, and today we've got a fun one. We're going to be starting off with an update with last week being a pretty big episode with a lot of views and a lot of attention talking about South Park. We're going to update you on that. Then our three topics of the day, we're going to be talking about New York's gunman and how he's kind of shifted all the blame in a sayonara note on his CTE from playing football, and he wanted to attack the NFL. Curious part is he's literally only played to the level of high school football. The following subject is going to be about Sydney Sweeney's jeans. Her jeans have got everybody's skirts in a knot, and we can't wait to untie them. And then closing out the episode, we're going to be talking about how Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter, is introducing BitChat, which is going to be a new messaging app that doesn't need the internet. And, maybe that'll bring some exciting developments, but also is it going to have really true implications or use in our day-to-day. That being said, we'll also close out the episode with the Wheel of Topics, but let's bring in the Pickle Gallery. Joining us today, we've got Silent Destroyer and Ricky from Just Another Day TV. Couldn't be more excited. And joining me here in the studio, we got Doug repping the keys, as always. So like I said, I wanted to start today's episode off with a little bit of an update, considering one of our bigger episodes recently with a live show was discussing how South Park has been in this billion-dollar battle with Paramount and other companies. Doug, I'm going to flip it to you if you could give us a little bit of update on the contracts. And they were able to reach a settlement, and because everything was in line and ready to go, they were able to pull the trigger and release the episode for the new season on time as anticipated. And that's something I'm most looking forward to talking about, is the episode itself. But Doug, could you give us a little bit of insight on what they were able to contractually work out?
So originally this whole thing was over. Paramount was agreeing with them on a 10-year, $5 billion, or what was it, 10-year, $3 billion deal. But Skydance, the company that they're merging with, they claimed that they had the right to say no to any deals. So they didn't want to pay South Park, for whatever stupid reason. Why wouldn't you pay South Park for 10 years? So South Park was going to sue them, and then they just settled, and they're getting a 5-year, $1.5 billion contract. So half the time, half the amount, but they are contractually obligated to release 10 episodes a year, which would be up from the 6 episodes we got last season. And I think there's only 8 episodes in this coming season. So less episodes in years, but more episodes per season. So I think that's a win.
Preparing for today's episode, you were talking about South Park having a special in their contractual obligation too. Is that with this contract, or is it with a past contract?
Well, I think HBO still has a lawsuit against Paramount because they had a contract with HBO Max to be the streaming location and Paramount to have the specials and the movies. And now that contract ended. And now Paramount should be getting all the episodes and all the TVs and specials, all that. But I think HBO still has that lawsuit going on. As of today, South Park was still on HBO Max. So I watched it today on HBO Max, where it's commercial free for me. Screw Paramount Plus and your commercials.
No, it's true. And you still can't catch it on Max. So again, it'll be interesting to see how it develops. But it's even funnier when the White House needs to come out and make official exclamations. Nobody's watching South Park. That's a bunch of crap. When South Park does an incredible job, in my opinion, there were times where they lost me because, the tide it's a pendulum, that's what they keep telling us. And the tide was going the other way. And I just didn't like the criticism. Now I have to admit, it couldn't be more accurate. And maybe I was just on the wrong side of things at that time. But with that, let's kick it off to a South Park reporting. The news itself, I think this was ABC, having reports about South Park in the White House.
House is firing back at Comedy Central South Park after the season premiere. The episode Wednesday included a scene showing President Trump lying in bed with Satan, who also had a previous relationship with Saddam Hussein on the show. On Thursday, a White House spokesperson issued a statement saying, quote, South Park hasn't been relevant for more than 20 years, going on to say the show is hanging on by a thread by uninspired ideas in an attempt for attention. The show's parent company, Paramount, has not issued a response.
Go ahead, Jack.
I love this too. I love that episode because they poked fun at Paramount for A, their lawsuit, and B, because they had that lawsuit with Trump and just settled that as well. So I love it. South Park got a dig at everybody in that episode. Like everybody got a dig in.
Well, and honestly, the way they did Trump was so perfect. You know, I love that they show up to Mr. Garrison's house, who has been the Trump character for the last
best.
And he's like, no, it's not me. And they're like, well, then who is that? And that's kind of, I think, how all of us feel about this Trump, is that like we're all sitting here like, who is this guy? Because this definitely isn't the dude we thought we were voting for. And it's only and for them to make him just parallel to Saddam Hussein, who was Satan's last boyfriend, where, you know, Satan's just like, you just remind me a lot of my last boyfriend. And there's so many things right now that run parallel to that climate at that time. And it makes you sit back and wonder, what are we marching into? I want to get the Pickle Gallery's thoughts a little bit. Silent Ricky, are you South Park fans? Did you catch this last week's episode? Silent, were you able to?
I love South Park. I have not seen this episode yet, but I've seen some clips, and for them to bring back Satan is pretty funny. Also, for the White House to say that South Park is irrelevant is extremely inaccurate, because they still pull millions of viewers, including the old seasons too, let alone the new ones. So that's obviously a very false statement.
Well, I appreciate you raising that point too, because it's like the whole intro to the topic here is Doug talking about how much of an asset this like content is. And that isn't because no one's watching, Mr. President. In fact, you should really be concerned because everyone's watching. And there's so many people that hate you that definitely more people are watching it now. I can promise you that. Doug, what are your thoughts on this past week's episode?
I already kind of said mine. Like, I loved it because, first of all, we had to get delayed. So they actually probably threw out whatever episode they had for 2 weeks ago because the premiere was supposed to be. They probably threw that out and now, you know, made this within what they settled their deal, and that Trump stuff, the agreement with Paramount, that was that week too. So they literally made this whole episode just for this week, and they got a jab at everybody they wanted to get a jab at. So I gotta give them credit on that. They hit all the buttons that they wanted to hit in this episode after having to wait 2 weeks for it.
Well, and that's what makes tomorrow even more exciting, because you kind of nailed. I read an article of a struggle for Trey Parker and whatever Matt Stone. I know that they're exclaiming that they got a bit of an issue going into this week's episode, because now they really have no idea what direction they want to take it, because they're like, we did everything we wanted to. We wanted to take a dig at Trump, and we wanted to get a little dig in at Paramount in the situation we're in. We were able to accomplish both and also get, you know, the world's attention. So we're not totally sure where we're going to. So I'm going to be curious if they continue snowballing what they kind of just opened up here, or is it going to just derail into something totally new? Yeah.
I remember when they released the season preview, there was supposed to be like an air traffic control episode. That's still pretty well relevant because New York just had another like delayed weekend because air traffic control stuff. So that might still be a relevant topic for them to go after.
You're probably right. Let's get back to the show then. South Park, I'll be excited to see what happens Wednesday, but we've got bigger fish to fry. New York is in terror, as it always is. We've got this situation with communists about to take control, and then even worse so, my mom comes downstairs and she's like, there was a terror attack in New York. Can you believe it? I'm just like, it's sad that we've gotten to this point where you're dismissive because it's just so commonplace and it's just another but this one, first off, I've allowed the algorithms and trying so hard to appease these platforms change what the show's supposed to be. And it's like, well, yeah, I know this is a big topic, but we really shouldn't talk about it. And I need to get back to our roots. That's kind of a theme that I've been picking up the last few weeks. So with that being a goal here, this is pertinent to talk about. And I like that we picked it because as we're kind of in the green room prepping for today's show, even Ricky's like, there's elements to this that resonate with all of us. For me personally, so let's get to the topic, right? So there was a gunman in New York that went to an office building and took the wrong turn. He had the intention of going to the NFL department, headquarters within this office building, and took a turn down the wrong hallway, and there were casualties and significant numbers of injuries. He himself also didn't survive. We don't need to care or know his name or his picture. That's a diatribe I'll save you for. Go to a past episode. We don't need to make these people famous. That's half the reason why they do it. So, unnamed loser does this thing. Now, the articles that are coming out, New York mayor is confirming that the gunman was targeting the NFL, but for the reason blaming them for his CTE. So there were 4 people that didn't survive the situation. He stormed a skyscraper in New York. This happened Monday evening. And he left a note that blamed the NFL for a brain injury. Here's the craziest part of it all. He never played in the NFL. He never played in college. He quite literally only played in high school. Now, we're getting mixed reports. People that have played with him are saying he was a nothing football player. Then there's other people that say, he was a little bit of a flash in the pan. He was impressive in high school, but just was never able to transfer it to the next level. That's neither here nor there. So what's interesting is this now opens up a whole dialogue about CTE. So here's a guy that's blaming the NFL for a brain injury. Now, what could that be? Is it could the twisted logic within the note be that the NFL, tempts people with the golden ticket mirage that you can become an NFL player and break out of whatever financial hardship and situation your at-home life, resides in with like I said, the golden ticket of the NFL. If you just make it to the league, you can break out of whatever situation you're in, and you're enticing young people to put themselves in, what some may claim, not myself, some may claim as a morbid or dire situation that you're tempting them to enter into. So with that being kind of the premise of the argument that he and others have made, I'd like to first flip it to the Pickle Gallery. Ricky, you said you had some thoughts on this more than anything. What do you think? Did CTE ever push you to hunt down the NFL? Or you were more of a soccer or basketball guy? You going to the NBA? Maybe FIFA needs to watch out?
I don't think I was going to go pro. But I had faith in myself, but I didn't. Yeah, it didn't happen. We played against some big dudes, bro. Like, all right, when I move out of Rexville to the inner city of Cleveland, there's a school called Glenville. For people that don't know, it's like a factory for inner city school for D1 college, Ohio State, Michigan.
If you play athletics, you go there.
Well, I played for the opposite. city team of Glenville. My O-line was freshman when I was a junior. All my O-line was freshman. And we played Glenville, bro. Dudes that 6'7", 255, 6'6", 230, like monsters. In high school, monsters. And
For real.
I never had like a concussion. So like by NFL players, I got smacked in high school by them developing. And no, I would never be on the hunt or think like I got head damage from football. Like we have a friend, I'm not gonna say his name and disclose his stuff, but we all know him. He got the spine injury. He has more of a reason to playing football for like a lot of, certain things. That man is living his life happy, married. You know what I mean? Like some people just want things to blame. And maybe he was dropped on the head as a child and he wasn't in school.
Well, and the problem is, and hence part of the reason why we don't even need to show his picture or say his name, is you're catching desperate people that, society sends this message that you can become an instant celebrity. Everybody's saying your name and everybody is showing your picture if you do something disgusting and drastic like this. And we need to, one, do our best to deter that symptom of our constantly plugged in society. But on the flip side, I don't think it's football that causes this. So Ricky brings up a great point, right? We know people that have their life changed by a small incident. So here's a guy that was the best on our football team, the best on the wrestling team, and had a spinal injury that at best allowed him to be a coach. Still remained in honors, still has, I bet you this dude's a nuclear physicist. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I guarantee he's on his way to be president. The dude was on honors everything. So it also depends on the person. Like, yeah, he probably could have gone to like Wisconsin. You could have seen him at a D1 school. I bet you. But at the same time, it's not like he still didn't make something of himself. People that like cast that on the NFL, it's lazy thinking and it's desperate for someone to blame, and it's easy to blame them because they have the deepest pockets. What's crazy is that could have been what takes you out, a freak accident that happens during playing a game. Or we also had somebody that went to our high school that was with a group of friends just at the local gymnastics facility that you could pay a short dollar amount and just have free play for the evening. Bro does a backflip into the foam pit, snaps his neck, is now in an electric wheelchair for the rest of his life. And this is a teenager, right? 16, 17 years old. Well, is it the NFL? Is it Gym World's fault? At some point, we got to go. If we want to live in a life of freedom where people can be people, then we also need to understand that freak accidents can happen. And that's where lawyers come in, and you could talk about neglect and but for this, problem within your facility, I wouldn't have had this injury or whatever the case may be. But for playing football, I wouldn't have had this injury. But not to toot my own horn, but one of the strongest things that I was able to write in law school was a sophisticated defense of the NFL against any CTE claims. And without kind of rehashing all of that, the crux of it comes down to, even if you did experience a severe head injury, take someone like, Brown from the Steelers. I can't think of Antonio Brown. If you have somebody like that you could go look at this play and it literally changed his personality, and it was like one of the most extreme hits in football.
Or what about like Ryan Shazier?
Yeah.
He almost paralyzed in football, and look at him,
At the same time, how about the dude from the Buffalo Bills who's straight up playing again?
Yep.
Brother was about to be the first person to die on a football field. He's still playing. So it's one of those. it's one of those. What's up, Doug?
Looks like you froze on the screen.
Oh yeah, I did. What is going on with these cameras? Click to you real quick, Doug. So.
Oh hey, I'm not frozen.
Yeah. Let me try to, or maybe you can. Little technical difficulties. That's how you guys know we're live and doing it real for you. So with that being said, though, the crux of my point is you need to be able to point to and show that it is this exact instance that is causing this problem. Something that happened in football, something that happened in a specific hit. But let's go to a specific instance or example, the worst, let's say. I'd like to talk about Aaron Hernandez. Okay.
Oh, man.
So here's a guy that gets convicted for murder.
Multiple murders.
There's a whole bunch of fun gay sex as well. And all of it is blamed on CTE. So here, Aaron Hernandez, it wasn't his fault. It was CTE. I'm supposed to believe that. Well, I want to have a heart. But then if you're somebody that gets deep in the weeds of Aaron Hernandez's story, and this was kind of the crux of my defense of the NFL, you got to look at the extremes to first be able to weed it in on a truth or a standard or a policy. So looking at the most extreme, here's a guy whose dad would slam his head on the counter. Okay? So his mom and him were severe domestic violence victims where the dad on numerous occasions would slam his... And then he takes a couple big hits in the NFL and they're like, but it was football. Here's the problem. For too long, too many people have been playing football and have been able to have their sweetheart deal where they kind of just die of old age, had their family, passed it on. They've all taken big hits. So it's this tightrope where you walk a line because, yes, in the extreme situations, we cannot ignore this does exist. But we also cannot deny in many of those situations, there's all these mitigating factors that occurred outside the game that isn't their fault. And so no matter what, and that's why I so strongly feel we need to walk in tandem, beating the drum to this message. You cannot blame the NFL for CTE because if we even leave that door just mildly ajar, assholes like this guy in New York are going to kick it open and play the victim card because this is only for attention because, yes, their brain is broken. And I'm sure something happened in football that definitely aided where we're at. But you definitely cannot blame the NFL. He never played in it. He never played in it. He only played in high school. And even if he did, you can't have AJ Hawk every day on the Pat McAfee show. Dude, let me give you a little story. AJ Hawk was just recently on the Pat McAfee show talking about how the high school he went to used to have an alumni game, okay, where alumni could come back, dress in pads, and play against the high school kids.
That's actually awesome.
Sure, they're kids, but also AJ Hawk is a freak. Hence why his career, he just skipped across his career. Just a god at Ohio State, then goes to the Packers and just retired on one team. Retires a Packer great. What's that, Ricky? You saying he played for another team? Who?
Cincinnati.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. So he was Green Bay 2006 to 14, the Bengals in 15, the Atlanta Falcons in 16.
Interesting. So even then, he had enough of a legacy that you don't even really remember those other teams. But now that you say Cincinnati,
no one does.
I don't even remember Atlanta. That was a totally. But again, the point still stands. Here's a guy that had a full career and skipped across a few teams too, and he's totally articulate. He's building a family. He's sleeping with Brady Quinn's sister, having kids. There's no finding an office building and becoming a terrorist. So we can't even allow just a little bit of ground for playing victimhood in this world, because we see what they'll do with it. All right, so that's my diatribe. I want to throw it to the Pickle Gallery. We heard a little bit about Ricky. Ricky's gotten his experiences with CTE. Silent, what do you think?
Yeah, that's all BS. This guy was clearly mentally ill, and CTE had nothing to do with it. He clearly had an agenda. He probably was just chasing clout. He's probably just bitter that he didn't make it to the NFL. But newsflash, bro, most people don't make it to the NFL. It's a very, very small percentile of high school kids that go to the NFL, or even college kids. So instead of beating yourself up and, blaming CTE, you could have just taken accountability of your life and gotten your shit together and done something nice and productive with your life. But instead, you chose to be a piece of shit loser and kill people that are innocent. And that have nothing to do with your failures. And it's honestly very unfortunate. It really is.
Well, I love your response, Silent, because it really parallels a common thread that we don't exclaim enough. And our society is in the rut that it's in because we have no accountability. Mm-hmm. If we had accountability, I mean, it's just so funny that you heard the old heads when everybody got a trophy. They're like, one day you're going to learn this shit's going to be a problem. And it's like, yeah, probably, but whatever. We're not there yet. Now that we're living in that world, it's like, yeah, this is it. The little microcosms that have a ripple effect, the butterfly effect that just totally consumes your society, where you don't have accountability in the smallest of places. The kids down the street said to my mom, we're going to play putt-putt. Oh, cool. You're going to beat your brother? We don't keep score. There's no losers or winners. It starts there. That's a little thing. That's a nothing situation. What you don't realize is that's where it starts, and it blossoms into this huge social problem where if he can't lose at recreational putt-putt, he sure as shit is not going to be able to handle not getting the job when he goes through all the rigmarole. I gave him my resume. I went to I sat down, I had an interview, and I didn't get the gig. Now I'm going postal. It's like, that's where that comes from. And so you're seeing, I love where your heart's at. We coddle people because we care about them, and we don't want to live in a world where they get hurt. But if you don't allow them to feel that hurt, they're never 21 Pilots says it a million times over. If you don't get burned, you're never going to develop the callus to live with it, survive it, and beat it. So, guys, it comes down to accountability. That's why you should never say this loser's name. You should never even give it the time of day beyond the mourning and support the families deserve. And where this runs a line for football and CTE and head injuries, the clearest takeaway I have, having never heard this guy's name until the report and having never seen a crumb of his life, I still know something else is at play here, whether it's medication that he was prescribed, whether it was, again, a father playing basketball with his head on the counter like Aaron Hernandez, or, the argument I made that in tandem with the Aaron Hernandez's father, I live in Ohio. You could literally just be getting the mail and your driveway is covered in ice, and you just slip and crack your head. But then once you get over the dizziness, the vertigo, the unable to sleep, the vomiting, all of that comes with a concussion, you're good, baby. Get on back out there. So if I play for a football team, slip and hit my head on the driveway, give it the 2 weeks that I'm going to, I should be like a month and a half, but I'm going to give it 2 weeks, get back in the football field. Where do I get off blaming football? And I'm sorry, this is a conversation, maybe Ricky, Doug, I'd love to hear your thoughts, even Silent, if it interests you. But where was football better off? Was it better off with leather hats and soft pillow shoulder pads? So, you could only hit as hard as the padding allowed you. So while there was less safety and protection, you couldn't go as hard. But now you're in a total cocoon of safety. But I also think that allows these people to hit beyond what's safe because they're in these safe cocoons. I don't know, Doug, what do you think?
Well, before I even address the helmet thing, like you're talking about, we're in all this safety. Okay. Do NFL players even wear like knee or thigh pads anymore? I mean, like,
no, they don't. You're right.
So like, really, they're giving up some of that safety. Whereas in high school, we had to wear that. If you didn't have a certain leg padding, even if you're missing one hip piece or whatever it was, you weren't allowed to play. And so, they're giving up some safety. So your argument of, they're more safe now wearing more stuff. They're actually giving up more stuff. But the helmet, dude, I think like we need that in between. Like the helmet protects your head, but your head still moves around. And that plastic outside doesn't do much to actually absorb much. I think those like socks that the NFL is putting on, that's probably going to be the future. Honestly, because there's not much you can do for a helmet besides that, in my opinion. Like, what else are they going to do? Custom fit every single helmet? They already do that for the NFL for the most part, but that's not logical for high school and stuff.
Doug, it's crazy you bring that up because recently I was just at Brown's training camp, this summer training camp, and somebody was talking to, amongst their group, but they were sitting next to me, and they were talking about our linebacker, Okanoa, who broke his neck.
We're lucky he's even on the field.
Well, but he's not playing this season.
Yeah.
He's still out. And so he was the only player that put the sock over his helmet. And people also kind of were like, it kills the aesthetic. And he knew he was, one of the hardest hitters on our defense and thought he was increasing his safety by putting one of those foam socks over the helmet in addition to all the equipment. He's wearing the whole required equipment plus these new padded sock pad things that they put over the helmets. And he had a severe head and neck injury that took him out of last season, and he's still out this season.
I don't think he had a concussion, though. He just hurt his neck. So that's not even related to the helmet, really, in my opinion. I think that's different. Like, maybe we need to go back to the Mean Joe Green where everyone has, like, the neck rolls on the back, like, for your neck not to roll back so much. But, like, it's kind of hard for a helmet to prevent a neck injury. Right. I don't think any helmet design or any other safety thing with the head would have really prevented that.
And when it comes to football, you ask yourself, well, should that be the reason you don't play then? I mean, this is on the table. It is a possibility. But the relationships I've made, the memories I made, the experience, the character you are forced to build. My dad made the joke. He's like, they're here for 2 hours. These are professionals. And it's all pretty soft. He's like, to think we did 2-a-days, 3-a-days. Doug, you and I played on turf. The Cleveland Clinic had their nurse with a temperature gun. The second it went over 112, I remember it teeter, and we're like, please call it. It's so hot on the turf. And she's just like, the coach just won't let me. It's got to go over. It's got to be 113. And you're
so
just
we had to go in full pads.
Full pads. It wouldn't cancel practice. It would just be that we get to play with the shoulder pads off. Just shells. So just the helmet. So we're still cooking on turf. And we'd have 2-a-days, 3-a-days. I wouldn't trade it for the world, dude. Like, I don't think I could do that shit now, but I wouldn't trade it for the world when I did and could.
They don't even do 3-a-days anymore, man.
Right.
We were the last group.
Tell me that wasn't insane.
It was fun, though. Like, we were there all day, but, like,
it wasn't fun. There wasn't an ounce of fun, but I still wouldn't remove it from my life. That's crazy. That's crazy that you have these things that you force yourself through that actually weren't fun, but you got the benefit. I like the relationships I built with the people that did it with me. Like, it sucked, but it sucked for you just as much as it sucked for me. It's one of those, we all got to bond over this. I remember like some of the breaks, you had a short window, others were longer. Let's go get lunch. That was the best. And, you're rolling the dice. If 2% of the time something severe might happen, well, then you shouldn't go. Like, there's kids that literally go to the creek in the metro parks and jump from giant boulders. They wouldn't trade those memories for anything else either. But guess what? 10% of the people that do that also have severe life-changing situations. The problem is, I saw a video of an old amusement park, and it's like amusement parks before lawsuit culture. And it's just like, that's what real freedom is. And where lawsuits in some situations are totally necessary, their existence has changed our world where we live in these bubbles and we can't truly appreciate, like, dude, just watching people in these little mini motorboats racing each other, bumping each other in these like little boats. And it's like, you couldn't do that. The number of waivers, you'd have to be a certain age limit. It'd have to be, all these limitations. You can't be within, 5 feet of each other, whatever it is. It's like, man, don't you miss those days where you could just go down? Oh, you could build a water slide. And if somebody gets hurt, like, sorry, we'll put a Band-Aid on it, severe injury, then we really got to do something about it. I don't know. Now I'm rambling, but let's get to our rapid thoughts. I'm going to flip it to the Pickle Gallery. Silent, what do you think of the whole sitch?
Well, like I said, CT is not to blame for this. Obviously, this person was mentally unwell and needed to seek help and get help, but he chose not to. He instead chose to be a coward and kill innocent people, and that's completely unacceptable. There are ways to deal with mental health issues, and if you're mentally ill, there's tons of resources, especially in the United States, to get the help that you actually need.
You nailed it. Use it. Utilize the resources that are there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ricky, what are your thoughts?
You was dealing with trauma. Now you implement trauma on all these innocent family. Shame on you. It should have never happened.
Man, Doug, let me toss it to you. You have any rapping thoughts?
Man, I had a concussion as a kid. Am I going to blame the NFL just because I had something years ago and then also played the damn sport that they are the national level of? It just seems stupid. Like, dude, you didn't even play in college. Like, maybe if you actually had a dream that you were working towards, but if you hadn't played past high school, why are you blaming the NFL?
Right. Well, as we transition here, this is the one that everybody's been excited for all day. Sydney Sweeney has great genes. I mean, come on, look at them. Those are some damn good genes. Literally and figuratively. GENES and GJEANS. Just good old genes left and right. And facts can be uncomfortable. That doesn't make it any less of a fact. And so we live in a world where people itch for a moment to get triggered. And before we totally unfold the topic, I'm going to flip it to no better person to break down a social situation like this than Jack Mack. We love Jack Mack.
Turn of events, Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad has now been labeled as propaganda by one side of the internet. And not just any propaganda, but Nazi propaganda. Did they mean to include a bunch of dog whistles in this? Oh, haha, like genes. I get it. She has good genes. Like she has good genes. Haha, like in a way. Totally. Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle jeans ad launched this past week. Me, as a red-blooded American patriot, I loved it. I love women, man. I just do. But I could see how some people would say, maybe it's a little over the top. It's not PG, yada, yada, yada. In the video, she talks about jeans, which is a play on jeans with a G and then a J. It's gone viral on X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Midwestern Gothic has a tweet or a video on TikTok with like 400,000 likes. These Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird, and then she goes into how they're weird in a Nazi propaganda way. Here's a screenshot from that. Yeah, some have even tweeted, like Bambi, American Eagle needs to delete those Sydney Sweeney ads. They are genuinely scary. Author Brittany Ryan said that it's propaganda. That commercial was intentional. It's not that deep. Yes, it is. This is yet another reason why media literacy is so important. I feel like I'm in a communications 101 class again. It has to be so exhausting just looking through life like this. It just has to be. I see the connection. It's a massive reach. They're talking about about her great genes. Like we know what they're talking about. You know, like that. Like, come on, guys. Do you think that's over the top? Fine, that's fine. Like, if you thought that, fine. The sad thing is, I'm not shocked by this. This is how a lot of people view the world. But it's such a small bubble. Like, if you asked people on the street in New York City about this, 99% of people would be like, what are you talking about? But those people are media illiterate. These are the select few in our society that should be calling the shots.
That's the bigger point that I like more than anything is, while it's just only 1%, it's because the 99% of us are the dumb ones. And these, socially sensitive folk, they're the ones that got it all figured out. But what's crazy is like the social philosophers that have comments on this, like, the greatest political scientist out there, like Doja Cat.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Her genes are blue. All right, Ricky, you seem to give a bit of a reaction, so I want to get your knee-jerk reaction first.
Who's Sydney Sweeney? And
What?
it's just a commercial, bro.
Hold on, real quick. We do need to fill you in. She is highly sought after. She's in movies and TV shows.
She's the new Scarlett Johansson.
She probably is. Yeah, that's a fair declaration, Doug. I'll give you that. She's probably the new Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
She's got a giant chest, and that's what she's known for.
And literally, one of
John
the
Daly
ads,
would love her.
One of the ads are literally just the camera pans from her face, stays there for a while, goes down a little bit, and then pans right back up to her chest. Literally, that is the whole ad, and it says Sydney
That's
Sweeney.
a great commercial.
Oh, it's great.
Like, if they're talking about like playing the double, what do you say, double entendre, like playing on both words, that's great. Like showing
it's a double
what
entendre.
her mama gave her and the material. Like it holds these in place.
Yes,
from what I can see. There's nothing
from what I can see,
bro. I bet a lot of people that is reacting and make this a big thing. Doja Cat probably helped add to it, but I bet a lot of them are eating chips and KFC for dinner.
Interesting point. Well, I like you making that point because the reason more than anything I wanted to play the Doja Cat clip, beyond her being a representative of the Illuminati cult, is she posts this video and the comments. I'm sorry, guys. There were so many things as Doug and I were preparing for today's episode. I wanted to have a video screen recording of the comments. I was going to have that prepared and I forgot. But it's bad when even Doja makes fun of it. She's normal again. My jeans are blue. Doja making fun of Sydney Sweeney was not on my bingo card. Doja on the right side of history as usual. Never thought I'd see the day where Doja Cat makes fun of Sydney Sweeney, but here we are.
Hold on, time out. We don't need no more, Alex.
Yeah,
Isn't Doja the one in those 4chan chats and Reddit chats back? Like, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't focus on these people. Like, these people are in another world of their own. She probably have a beef behind the scenes when they're in like some Louis Vuitton party or something.
They're probably best friends. They probably are taking body shots with each other at the same Diddy parties, and they're like, "It's just, it's the Shakespearean play we're putting on for the world."
I'm gonna stay out of this fight. This look like it's the people that eat KFC for dinner. It ain't that serious. It's just a commercial. Let commercial be commercial again.
I need you to do me a favor. Who are those people you're talking about? Enlighten me.
Like that girl he showed on the screen, bruv. With the black curly hair.
True. Yeah, Biden voters. I completely agree.
Like,
it's fair. It's fair.
See,
I mean, they're obese. And they're mad that
they like
American Eagle.
Don't just eat chicken. Ricky, everybody on the screen here eats the fried chicken. It's the people that overeat fried chicken that you.
I didn't say fried chicken. I literally said KFC. Who the fuck eats KFC? with
Now
all
you
that
gotta
Literally
nasty
Kentucky
ingredients.
Fried Chicken, Ricky.
Yeah, literally.
Wait a
I
second.
get
Wait
you.
a second. You need to enlighten me, culture me.
KFC is horrible. Who goes to KFC
It really
anymore?
is. All right, so where do you go? What if
Popeyes,
you could pick any?
Church.
Popeyes is better.
Church.
See, I
Church
don't
is
have
better,
church
too.
Canes,
like
all about that Canes.
Canes too.
No,
Canes,
Raising
man,
Canes.
I'm picking
I'll go to
Popeyes
my
over
white caucuses and go to Raising Canes. Chick-fil-A is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are cool too.
but they're not as good. Don't let's
No.
not lie.
KFC, don't even fry the chicken all the way through. The seasoning is it's just sodium, flour, a little black pepper, and 30-day-old grease. Every time. Never fails. My
Facts.
first time in
Facts.
America, literally 2004, landing Christmas from Jamaica, my break in Jamaica. Landing New York, my dad took me to KFC. Excited because Jamaica KFC is the best. So I'm excited to try American KFC. First time, toes down. Me and my sister bit our chicken. Blood. I only been back to KFC for the famous bowl. That's it.
Once you have KFC outside of North America, you realize how bad it is in America and in Canada. I agree with Ricky. 100%.
No, it is true. You go to
every
another
fast food
country
place is
and
better.
like Europe, dude, every block is a KFC. Totally different restaurant.
It's so good.
They actually
It's
take
so
pride.
good.
It is a restaurant. It's not like a chicken stop like the places here. It's just like, a stop where you can get chicken.
And the next day you don't feel like shit too. It's like it's so refreshing to eat something and you don't feel like shit the next day. It's great.
See, Ricky, that's why I had to flush the point out with you, because KFC, depending on where you're at, is either really butt or top tier. If I were to drop you off in Spain, like we've talked about, you're not finding a Popeyes. They're just not going to be there. But there will be
I get you.
3 blocks.
But I haven't had good KFC in North America. Only thing good from KFC is a famous bowl because they want to have to warm up the little chicken nuggets, warm up the corn, warm up the gravy. The mash is already 3 days old. Put it and give it to you. Like that. That's it.
Can we? Okay, keeping us on the track of the topic. Nothing is going to be more salivating like Pavlov's dogs. Nothing's going to trigger you as much as this chicken does as Sydney Sweeney's jeans, brother. And so when we need to, the sky is blue, the grass is green, bitch has great jeans. Like I'm talking blue jeans that she's squeezing in and genetics that she's passing to offspring, all of which fantastic. And again, just because I love kicking the coals, it isn't what they want it to be. Blonde-haired, blue eyes. My dad had brain surgery following our last Tuesday episode. And now that I've got him trapped, I'm forcing him to watch Candace Owens. Every time I watch this brilliant woman speak, half of it is a hypnotization. Candace has great jeans. And I've never even seen her pants. She's sitting at a desk. She's got great jeans. This isn't a race thing. This isn't Nazi propaganda. My grandmother that had to hide from Nazis would be screeching at the fact that this is a jean ad. And they won. They got us all talking about it. They knew that 99% of us would go, damn straight, great jeans. And we love every bit of that genetic code. And then the 1% that were never going to fit in those jeans, never going to buy those jeans, literally don't even wear anything besides pajama pants and Crocs. They knew that sector of the market would kick up some dust and get us all talking about it. And baby, I'm glad it worked, because the best jeans. All right, let's get to our rapping thoughts. Silent, what do you make of Sydney Sweeney and her jeans? Is it Nazi propaganda?
Look, it's just a hot girl with a big rack and slim fit jeans, dude. That's it. She's in shape. She has a large chest. It's like, this is classic, like Hollywood / American commercial. Like they're just bringing it back, you know? Just probably haven't seen it in a while, you know? But that's how most commercials used to be like 20 years ago. It was just a hot girl with big tits wearing some nice clothes.
So true.
Hey guys, here's this hot girl wearing our nice clothes. Come buy them. Like, that's literally it. They don't care about Nazi dog whistles or whatever. They just want to sell jeans, dude. That's it. So they hired a hot girl to do it. It's called sex sells, you know, something that's been like done since the dawn of time, you know, like get a hot girl to promote something. Cool. Who's the hottest girl right now? Oh, I know. Sydney Sweeney. She has large, massive melons. Let's put her in the jeans and sell some jeans. That's all that it is. It's just a commercial. These guys don't care about no politics. They don't care. They just want to sell jeans, dude. They want to make money. They don't care about any of this stuff, I promise you. You think the shareholders care? Oh, hey, guys, let's send some Nazi dog whistles. No. They're like, hey, guys, let's sell some jeans. Who do we hire? Oh, I know. A hot girl to sell jeans. Done. Don't overthink this. That's it.
Something we've done for 50 years.
They're just selling jeans. That's it, guys. They want money. They don't care about any of the stuff. They want money.
And they won. They got us talking about it.
And if these jeans are not like something you would buy, or this ad is not really targeted to you, then just ignore it. You know how when you're scrolling through social media and you see an ad and it's not really your target, you can just click not interested. Simple. And just keep scrolling.
You know, that being said, though, Silent, I have been having these YouTube ads nonstop of the game where, like, you move your character left or right and he's shooting like a gun nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen those. Saying not interested, and there's either an infinite waterfall of these games and I can't block enough of them, or it's ignoring me. But I don't know what I'm talking about around my phone or doing on my phone that makes me in an algorithm that thinks this is what he wants more than anything. But I cannot escape them. That's all my ads are. Is this like game?
Those companies make like a few $1 million a month, so they have massive advertising budgets, right? Because of their in-game purchases. They're like cash printing machines. And remember, these totally off topic. These games are essentially like, once they build the game, it's so low cost for them and it's so high profit. Like if they charge you like $1 for an in-game item, it costs them like 1 cent to make that item. You know? And then once they make that item, it's just like digital sales, and it's so easy for them. So they're flush with cash. That's why you see these games like you see celebrities promoting these games, and they pay these celebrities like millions of dollars to promote these games. Totally off topic, but yeah, that's why you probably keep seeing those ads.
That's crazy that they have that much. Like, but you're right.
It's insane. Honestly, because even after they pay Apple the 30% like App Store fee and they pay their taxes, they're still like making tens of millions of dollars every month of profit.
Wow. Well, Ricky, let me get your wrapping thoughts. You just learned about Sydney Sweeney, and I'm curious, does she have crummy jeans? What are your thoughts? Is she a Nazi?
Well, I think it actually backfired because I feel like the Sweeney fans would seeing the ad got the jeans. Now they blew it up more, like seeing it on their TikTok, like, oh, she don't got a body type for it. Maybe I got it. Then let me go try these out. So maybe backfired on whoever was hating and bringing the race and all these other cards in. Like, I think it actually backfired because I didn't know about these. And if your woman has the figure, you probably want to go get her a pair of these jeans because she got good jeans too.
It's facts. Hey, bet. I can appreciate that. So I kind of closed out most of what I was thinking. The truth is, Jack Mack nailed it. 99% of the people are walking past this. They're either interested in the jeans, or they're interested in seeing Sydney Sweeney, or they're not interested at all. And 99% of us are just either walking by and buying new jeans, or walking by and dismissing it in its entirety. It's 1% that not only get offended and claim to be a representation of the totality, but then they are the loudest, they get the most attention, and that's all this is. It's them attention seeking. It's the media finding something that they can exploit and giving them and this situation the attention that it truly doesn't deserve. One of the things that I'd like to get to, the Gladiator was in the comments earlier, and he has a topic on the wheel of topics here. But, when things are happening like the big, beautiful bill, and there's so much in this bill that we can't even read and keep up on, and we just keep unpeeling more and more problems. Oh my God, I didn't even know that was a consideration I needed to have. This is just a distraction from the things that really matter. There's so many layers of important factors that are impacting your day-to-day. This is not one of them. And so if you are one of the, blue-haired punks that are allowing this to impact your life to the degree a big, beautiful bill is allowing cameras on every street, a social credit score, and all of that, we're walking down that road. If you think Sydney Sweeney, if you think that is more dangerous to you than cameras on every corner, a social credit score, and the policing of a Orwellian state, then you are the reason that will become our future. And this is something I do every day at work, being at the epicenter of bad people. You always are just everybody votes. Everybody votes, even these assholes. Doug, let me get your rapping thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I personally thought it was a great ad. Love play on words. And I miss when ads used to be fun like this without getting everybody upset or certain groups of people upset. Man, ads used to be fun and funny. Even the Super Bowl, man. I used to love watching Super Bowl ads. They suck now.
Great point.
Everything just sucks because they're afraid of pissing someone off, and it just sucks now.
That's a great point. Now, pivoting to our last topic of the day, this one is extreme. And it could also be a nothing bubble. Who knows? It's going to be up to you. So we're going to be talking about BitChat, which is being introduced by Jack Dorsey, the old CEO of Twitter. It's a new messaging app that doesn't need the internet. So Jack Dorsey, co-founder of Twitter, launched BitChat, a new peer-to-peer messaging app available on Apple devices, including the Vision Pro. BitChat lets you chat with people nearby using Bluetooth and doesn't require an internet connection, email, or phone number. Messages are private and encrypted, and there's a panic mode to delete all your data with triple tap instantly. So, if you ever found yourself in a situation where you didn't have internet access, a new messaging app might be of interest. So co-founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, just dropped BitChat, a new peer-to-peer messaging app that works over Bluetooth, and it's now available on your iPhone, Mac, iPad, or Apple Vision Pro. BitChat is this new platform where you can chat with people who are in your physical vicinity over a Bluetooth mesh network. You don't need to have anyone's email address, phone number, or a connection to the internet. Messages sent over BitChat are private and encrypted. Plus, there's a, quote, panic mode button that deletes all of your data with a triple tap. Now, that's curious. BitChat comes from And Other Stuff, which is an open source collective financially backed by Dorsey. He says it's an experiment in, quote, Bluetooth mesh networks, relays, and store and forward models, message encryption models, and a few other things. Those of us who have been on the internet for a long time may remember similar apps, such as FireChat, which was essentially the same thing. Now, there are obvious limitations to only being able to message people who are near you, but there are also clear use cases. It could be useful at large events where internet access can be spotty at best. It could also be incredibly valuable in situations where authorities block mobile data and Wi-Fi. And if you're interested in more random apps from Jack Dorsey, he also has the Sun Day tracker to track your vitamin D intake. So welcome to the world of BitChat. The thing that resonates with me the most, if you've ever been at a stadium of any kind, the cellular data service becomes so spotty. And even if you try to click over to the Wi-Fi, it's so overrun with the masses that it makes it very difficult to send messages and keep connected with the people around you. That, to me, is an incredible use. Beyond that, though, I think it's pretty limited. Doug, what are your thoughts?
Well, Alex, you brought up that point. How useful is that even going to be in that situation? If you're needing to text someone at that game, you're either texting someone who's not at that game with you or someone who was at that game with you and you've lost them. Well, chances like Bluetooth range is not all that great. These stadiums are now all made of concrete and steel rebar and all that crap. You really think that's even going to be helpful in a stadium situation? You'll have to be directly around that person for a Bluetooth thing to even send. This just seems really dumb.
So I appreciate you raising the consideration of range. That's first place my brain went when discovering this. The BitChat messaging platform developed by Jack Dorsey operates over Bluetooth Low Energy BLE mesh networks and has a direct device-to-device range of approximately 30 meters, about 100 feet. However, it's peer-to-peer mesh network. So again, that means it requires all of us having it on its phone, all of us having it on our phones. So it's a peer-to-peer mesh network. So yeah, I can only go 100 feet, but if we start creating a world where everybody has it, it at most can exceed the effective range of 300 meters or 984 feet under optimal conditions, depending on the density of connected devices, acting as a relay for nodes or relay nodes. So it's this crazy thing. Welcome to the human hive. It relies upon the strength of its utility is the strength of our use of it, our integration of it into our day-to-day lives. Do you like that? I mean, isn't that everything? I love that they tempt you. They're audibly acknowledging the fact that, like, hey, you might want this for your game time fun at the stadium, but you also might want it when the government starts playing some fishy shit and you need to be the Star Wars rebels.
The other thing too, them shutting down the
mesh network,
the data and the internet, and I go, okay.
Yeah, but again, I look at them and go, but okay, I have to rely on you, Jack Dorsey, who I don't trust. And again, let me remind you the Twitter files. Jack Dorsey sold all of us out to the government, totally backstabbed us all and sold out to the government. We're talking about an evil villain here, but a brilliant evil villain that just keeps developing great apps and great utilities. We'll talk about a rock and a hard place, but let's call the sky blue and the grass green. Jack Dorsey ain't necessarily a good guy. That being said, he's looking at you going, you need this because the government, it has nefarious intentions. They have an agenda and you're not always a part of it. And at the point at which you become an antagonist, somebody on the other side of the intention and agenda of the government, you might need my app. But you're a private company. Why am I supposed to trust you just as much as the government? I have just as little trust for a private company. And that's why capitalism in our monopoly world is going to lead us to a world where, yeah, we're not, and we know that currently, our government isn't really the government. It's corporations who are puppeteering the government. And this only is a further step. It's like, well, yeah, you don't trust the government, trust me. It's like, well, then you just become the government and you can turn your mesh network off whenever you want or whenever we become, a problem for you. I've been saying a lot. There's a lot to unpack with this beautiful mesh network within BitChat. It's literally bitch at. So let me ask the guys here. Silent, what do you think of this whole thing?
Look, the whole app idea is great. I love it. Like having the ability to communicate offline without using data is something fantastic and really, really pretty breakthrough. This will be very useful in countries where there's still not a lot of internet infrastructure, right? Or where you have very limited data, right? Or no data at all, right? and also in remote areas, right? In North America. But something like this usually has no wide mainstream adoption because most people don't care. Just like encrypted email or Proton. You guys remember Proton? Like make an email one-time address and it sends the email and then you could receive it, and then after like 20 minutes the whole inbox just self-destructs. Right? Most people probably haven't even heard of this app, but it's an amazing app if you really want to securely, communicate. It's there for you. You guys remember Session? I don't know if you guys remember Session, but it's basically same thing. It's a peer-to-peer encrypted chat, and probably maybe like a few 100,000 people around the whole world know about it, or a few million people know about it, but like less than a few 100,000 people use it. So most people that say they don't want the government to spy on them don't go towards the loopholes and towards the inconveniences of not having the government spy on you. This seems to be one of those apps. It's probably going to be cool. It's probably only going to be used by people that are very, tech savvy. And that's about it, really. Something like this will never be mainstream because it's too inconvenient for people to regularly use.
That's an interesting point. So we're willing to make those sacrifices. We'll give away our data for free. We'll sacrifice everything that's valuable.
Yeah.
For convenience. And truthfully, this while it has significant utility for the Western world, there really isn't much added convenience yet.
Nope.
And what's great is that I like your point. It's a tool that needs to be developed, and hopefully other people start getting in the game and it develops further in its own way. But it definitely relies upon the human hive. And I like your greater point, which is it has its utility for others, but not necessarily for us in our present day.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, what are your thoughts of the whole BitChat future app?
I think we pay for convenience a lot. Like, for example, like the convenience store, Like, you rather go there, get 2 Gatorades instead of go down to Walmart and grab a case for the price of 2 at the convenience store. So life is all about convenience, bro. Like, the easier the better sometimes. For 90% of us folks. This thing, when you first was reading it, the app, I thought, yo, the cartels are up, bro. Like, anybody doing illegal activity is up. That's the first place my mind went. Like,
because they'll just pay people to download the app and be in their area so that they can use that.
You're on the block, boom. We just connect with the other doing.
Dorsey's connected to the cartel.
But it's Dorsey, bro. This is going to the government, bro. This is just to catch people trying to do illegal shit, dog. I don't trust it. I don't believe it at all. WhatsApp is already feeding my information. I'll just stick to that. Like, maybe if I was in like the country of like some random part of the world in the hills or something, and oh no.
Yeah, you go there,
no. No. I don't have Dennis Rodman status, so no.
Not yet, Ricky.
We're gonna get there, Doug. You're coming with me.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna steal a flag.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'll come back like Otto, and you'll know why.
Hell yeah. But if we're like in a random country and you and your significant other or you and your buddies all download it in the house because y'all have no service, I get it. But everyday use, as Silence said, nah. There's practical use for it. Niggas on the block can use it.
True. I mean, Doug, I want to get your thoughts as we kind of prepare. Do you have any on your surface criticisms, or do you think this is something you could integrate in your life?
I would never use it. It's that simple. I think that's dumb. I also don't trust Jack Dorsey, but like to use that, you either have to be within 100 feet or hope that someone has it within 100 feet.
So they could just pass it another 100 feet. Yeah, so they could
pass it just, who knows if your person's going to be there too. Like, this seems dumb. Real dumb.
Fair point. So on its surface, I think we're seeing a great utility being developed. But we need to be wary of the actors that are doing it. I think Ricky nailed it with his point. It's like, it's coming from Jack Dorsey. You best believe the government has its fingers in it. There are roots from the beginning integrated in this whole thing. Yeah, they might be able to tell you it's on its own encrypted messaging server and nobody can break in. Let me see if I can find that language again, because it was intriguing. It's like, okay, you can message people who are near you. It be useful at large events. And where's the part talking about the encrypted? Yeah, there we go. Panic mode button deletes it all. Okay, but are you really of the delusion that BitChute doesn't have all of that within? Like, yeah, maybe on the phone itself they won't be able to access it, but I bet deep in their server somewhere there's an archive of what people have said.
I was going to say, nothing is ever truly deleted on the internet. You're a fool to believe that. Nothing's ever really gone.
You're so right. You're so right. Even like Snapchats,
they store it all on their server. And little known fact, any photo you post on Snapchat, technically Snapchat owns.
Yes. And dude, if you remember, there was a TikTok version of this, but there was a trend where there was this filter that would like make you blurred out, like it was like whited out, but then it would change colors, like it would change to yellow and red and everything else. And the trend was that girls would, start off, all clad, dressed and looking pretty. Then they'd turn the filter on and it would like blur out their whole body, and their body's changing colors. And
that silhouette challenge.
Yes.
Yes. And they drop the clothes and they pose. Yeah, that was a badass challenge. Yo, come on now. That was a badass challenge. Yo. A lot of figures.
Facts. But my whole comment during the whole trend was, you guys do realize that there's someone at TikTok headquarters that can just like see the original video without the filter, and they're for sure getting the last laugh. They're like, greatest trend ever.
Oh, that is so fun. That's like the T app that just got breached, bro. That is so fun. You're so right.
Oh,
you're so
all
right.
Speaking of apps that are really socially
so
relevant, can I get the Pickle Gallery's thoughts on this new T app? Ricky, kick it off, and then we're going to give it to Silent. What do you think?
I feel like any man.
The T app is this app where women can post red flags about you. It could be someone that never even met you. It could be anybody. There's no policing of it. Total free defamation if necessary, but also for the girlies, it's true signaling. Maybe they're saving people from a predator. So you're seeing the silver lining. There's good points and bad points, but the truth is it's just a defamation platform against men who can't defend themselves. But also, have they done enough harm to where this is necessary? Ricky, what are your thoughts on the whole T app?
I thought it was funny and hilarious. I told my fiance to put me on there just so we can see what's popping on the T app and see like if it's like a capathon or what's popping. But she said nope. She ain't doing it.
She knows better. She's like, I'm not about to invest in this wedding for somebody to post something that's going to make me cancel this wedding.
Facts. I was doing it for research purposes, just so, because I know we probably would have talked about it eventually. Interested. So, yeah, so that's all. And I just see it popping up. So I was like, yo, let's see what this shit is about. Let's be ahead of the curve. But as you said, defamation, bro. Like, it's like, and the thing is, there's no way to verify certain things. If you can, like, if there was a way to have like public records into it, like criminal records that's public into it, I can understand. But just people just going on rants and like, you probably not like this person at work, and you can just make up a story. And there is no other say on the other side is crazy. It was funny though.
And
I love the leak.
Gladiator says, imagine, they hate it when we post the inquiry, but imagine if the roles were reversed and if men were posting about females on the T app. Like, this app wouldn't last 2 seconds, but because it's under the guise of women empowerment and safety, we get to just ruin.
No app store would allow that. No app store would have allowed it.
But you
Sounds
know
like
what?
Yik Yak a little bit.
You know what? Maybe we need to make the T app commit to a social position. Maybe we all just start doing that about the women in our lives and then make them make it a female only app. And then they're pissing off the trans community. Because you're either gender fluid and we all get to sip the tea. Who did you get? You want some? Did you hear the tea? Did you hear the tea? Stacy's just as much of a bitch as Bob. Nope. It's either we're gender fluid or make them commit to women only. I think, as Ricky suggested, the real social move is we need to fight fire with fire. I don't know. Silent, what do you think of the T app?
Yeah, the whole T app was pretty crazy because it was vibe coded by someone and they left all users' information in a public database. By the way, it wasn't hacked. Just so you guys know, all these headlines that say the T app was hacked are very misleading.
Mm-hmm.
All the person did was open the source code of the app, and there was a public directory that contained all user information, such as pictures, IDs, location data. The person that vibe coded the app forgot to install proper security protocols, such as using a secure database, not a public database, to store people's information. And this reminds me of there was an app called Whisper, right? I don't know if you guys remember Whisper from like a few years ago. I think they shut down back in like 2020 or 2021. And that app was supposed to be like anonymous confessions, where you just log in and based on your location, you can see people confessing anonymously in your area. Turns out that the app wasn't really anonymous and that people were abusing it to, meet up with underage people and buy drugs and buy weapons and all that. So they shut down the app like really quickly, because obviously people just abused it. And this app seems to be that kind of app where people can just get on and they can make shit up about you and post your pictures without your permission. And I'm not surprised that it's probably going to get shut down very soon because just like what Ricky said, there's not really a way to verify this. Like maybe if there was a link to like, oh yeah, this guy, watch out guys, he's a predator, or like watch out, he's a criminal. And then you have some sort of link to where it links to a publicly available database to show proof that he's actually a criminal, then what's the point of this? Like you could literally just get on there and just make shit up. And most people will probably believe it.
Listening to
and
your
they can
guys'
also say
breakdown,
positive shit too, because there's green flags
right
on there as well. So yeah,
and that's fair, and that's fair. But listening to both of yours feedback, am I out of line for saying this is an organized doxing app? Like, yeah, nobody's logging on for the green flags. Like, literally, nobody's logging on for the green flags. You are only. I matched with this dude on Tinder, and things are jiving, and I want to know what his red flags are. And it's an organized defamation, but doxing app that allows you to. We can all on max. Like, what if Aiden Ross, he came out and supported Neon? What if the Breakfast Club fans were just like, we're going to ruin this dude's life? And or here on the Rethink Tank, we do our Sunday football review. What if Taylor Swift gets in the way of another football dialogue and I say something about Taylor Swift and now all the Swifties need to ruin my life? I'm sorry. I'm with Silent. I feel like the lifespan of this is going to be incredibly short simply because of doxing laws.
Yeah. Especially when you consider that the person that made this vibe coded it and didn't even put proper security protocols to protect people's data and information. which allowed someone who's a little bit tech savvy to just access all these images that were uploaded to a public database, you know. And if you're gonna have an app like this, you know, at least understand that most people can just make shit up, you know.
Yeah.
And this is not a new thing too, by the way. There's been Facebook groups of this. Like I remember seeing a lot of screenshots on Twitter for so many years of like Facebook groups that do this, where they're like, hey ladies, anybody in this city, I matched with this guy on Tinder, be very careful.
Yeah, they're called like, are we dating the same man and shit like that?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's like
yep.
the reality of it is, at the end of the day, we all know that you get to choose who you go on a date with. You get to choose what you do on the date, and you get to choose whether you want to continue to see that person or not. At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. If you have a weird feeling about somebody or they make you uncomfortable, instead of doxing them and talking shit about them on the internet, just don't see them.
Right.
It's really not that hard, you know?
So what about that one girl that's gatekeeping that good guy, man? She's just on there like, he mad, but she just laid up every night gatekeeping, you know?
Right.
Yeah, see, double-edged sword. Hey, you never know. So let's land this plane here. Give me your guys' rapid. There's all these apps in the world of AI. We're developing at an exponential rate, but seems like all of these new developments and applications just aren't quite there yet. And while we're seeing glimmers of utility, I don't know, as we've kind of said, it's really here at the present time yet. So keeping on track with the BitChat by Jack Dorsey and this new messaging app that does not require internet, because it's creating this Bluetooth mesh network, relying upon all of us to have it. Could you guys give me your rapid thoughts? Ricky, let's start with you. What do you think?
If you're going to a remote like a random country that has bad service and you're going with a group, maybe you try it out. If you're on the block and you're trying to experiment a little bit, be skeptic, maybe you try it out. You know, but be skeptic, you know. But I don't see the everyday use for it. It's not for me. I wouldn't get it unless I'm going somewhere I know bad service at. I'll actually try it out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Sal, what do you think? Rapid thoughts on this?
Yeah, just like what Ricky said, this is a very niche use. There's a few people that will use this. I could see this being useful maybe like during a protest or maybe during a football game, or like Ricky said, if we're all going on a trip and we're in the middle of nowhere and we have zero data and we still want to be able to communicate with each other. But those uses are so limited and niche that I don't see this becoming mainstream at all, you know? Obviously, Jack Dorsey is a billionaire. So whether this app succeeds or not, he doesn't care. He's clearly just, you know, since he left Twitter, he probably has so much time. He's like, hey, let me make an app where, you know, it's a mesh network and we can talk to each other without data.
Right.
Again, that is an amazing thing to achieve. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting that. But the people that are actually going to use this, probably like less than 100,000 people on the entire globe, I would say.
Really?
I would say so, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? We'll see. Time will tell, right?
No, great point. Great point.
You know?
Some of my favorite angles that have been brought up, I really loved. Silent was the one that kind of broke ground on this being a major utility for remote areas. I think while us in the Western world, where we have satellites and internet cables and giant networks already established, I don't think we're going to see present utility. However, it's going to be something that we kind of keep on the back burner. We know about it, and if it ever becomes pertinent, we know where to grab it, right? Ricky says, if I take a vacation to a place where I might be able to use it, I might try it out. I think, you know, I'm not going to download it yet, so I'm not going to be a benefit to anybody's mesh network, but at the point at which I start having some curiosities about our government, I may start thinking, hey, I'm going to remember that I have this thing. I want to flip it to a point that was also raised by Straight Bombs in the comments. You know, you're going to find this being more pertinent to the military than it is to us civilians. But nonetheless, this is a really unique utility that's being rolled out. Something that we continue to flirt with, throw in your face, and exclaim its importance is this weird technology where people are able to scan rooms with Wi-Fi. Okay, so now we've gotten to a point where I can create like a video recreation, literally
like
watching you,
like Batman.
Yeah, just like Batman. Someone can literally walk across the room, and the Wi-Fi waves will literally recreate the scope of the room, the person walking through it in real time, and everything else. That has now been commercialized. That was another recent development. So with all of these technologies being developed in tandem with each other, it's going to be kind of like a growing network that's going to be used against us. Therefore, its value is going to become increasingly more important to us, the civilian, because we're going to need to also master it if we're going to have any chance at combating it. The other thing is, though, where they do try to commercialize it to the layman, I do think it's going to have severe value in stadiums. I think if you go to the county fair, you go to a football game, you go to your favorite concert, a music festival, when you are at these grounds that are just densified by beings, all of them trying to tap into the satellite, and if there is a Wi-Fi, they're all draining it. Half of them just trying to save their data, so they need it. It's a necessity. In that world, we're barely able to communicate. You can't get a message out, honey, I'm on my way home from the game. You can't even send it. This is going to solve that in some ways. Maybe not to honey at home, but if you've lost you're trying to meet up with a friend who's on the other side of the stadium, this is perfect for that. But as Ricky said, if you want to be the one to test the waters, you can. But the reality is, know what you're getting in bed with. You can't really trust it. Yes, there may be a triple tap, delete all button, but that doesn't mean that the corporate warlord doesn't also still have access to it. So keep in mind the devil you're getting in bed with, Trump in South Park. So, Doug, give me your rapping thoughts.
I mean, the only time I do see it being helpful is like, for example, we go to Europe. Well, we're not paying for an international plan. So if people there have it, you'll be able to communicate with your buddies you're there with. That's about the only time. Stadium, maybe, but I still doubt how well it's going to work in that concrete jungle of a stadium. But like a big city, people everywhere having it on, or like in Europe somewhere, I can see that being helpful. But I do question how good the security will be. Like if you're bouncing it off of someone else's network to get to the phone you wanted to get to, you're trusting that all those phones, that's going to get there and that they can't really access that message, or that someone doesn't like intercept it on the way. Like they really do say not to even have your Bluetooth on all the time, because people can like use that to possibly tap into you or some shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily would trust the Bluetooth really yet either.
Nailed it. I love that point. One of my favorite ways to close out the episode anymore. Couldn't be more excited to get to the wheel of topics. Doug, click us over. All right, so closing out today's episode, we got the wheel of topics. We have you guys going over to the Neuro Gym, giving us topics you'd like us to do, games you'd like to see, fun ways to close out the episode. And with that, we're going to take a spin to see how we're closing out today's episode. Ooh, Slang Slot Machine. This one is a new one we have yet to play, and I'm excited to introduce it. Click us back over, Doug. Oh no, I was on mute. You guys couldn't hear me. Dang it! I had that. Where Slang Slot Machine, which is a why talk on that microphone? It's already done, guys. This is a new segment. I'm trying to master it. Okay, so for the folks, we're playing a game called Slang Slot Machine. So what I'm going to do is pull up a window here with Urban Dictionary, and we have just a regular kids Mad Lib, okay? So we're going to be filling in the slots of a Mad Lib, and we're going to be using the random word generator on Urban Dictionary to fill it in. Today's theme for the Mad Lib, Kids Mad Lib, is is Star Wars. So
Woohoo.
let me woohoo, Doug says. Let me let me share screen
Someone be
here.
excited. Come on, guys.
That's-
Woo!
God bless it. God bless it. That's right. Look, so you guys cannot see yet the Mad Lib that we're putting together. Only Doug and I can. And we're going to be random generating the sentence here. So first, I'm going to need an adjective from Urban Dictionary. So let's click on over. Where's it at? Shuffle. All right, we need an adjective. So we're shuffling it until we get it. Nobbin. Nobbin hood. Can we just do nobbin? Is that an adjective? No, we'll keep going. Tub rowing. Low tide. Fitties.
Boo, Alex, boo.
Doug, watch yourself. Tread lightly. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Maybe this isn't a game we
Yeah.
play.
Urban Dictionary is. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm.
Wait, what's a nigga shark?
Shank. Oh no!
Oh, it's Shank.
Why'd you
Okay,
make us
okay.
go back? Let's go with waffly. You know, can we just make one up? I'm going with nobbin. Nobbin is an adjective in the way we're gonna use it. All right, now I need a noun. This was easy. These ones are the ones I'm all for. And then we're gonna need an adjective. So if I see that, I'm taking it. Butt beard. Okay. Nobbin butt beard. I need another adjective. Houdini. Whoa, that's something. That, you know what? But it's misspelled on purpose. It's a baguette. Trip hop. Swick. Swicky. Can we go swicky? Can we make that an adjective? We're gonna. Swick is a combination of words slick and quick. That's an adjective. President is swick. Well, that's an ad. No, that's not it. But we're going with swicky. Now I need a noun, specifically a place, hopefully. Thick pickle. Smith. Incoherent, isn't it? Conservatrol. That would have been a good one. Where's a place? You should be able to seek out specific like types. Poolside income.
That's a place.
Yeah, we'll take that. Poolside income is money being wired to your checking account while you sit by the pool. Okay. Poolside. Switching it up. Okay. Grandpa lore. Oh, now I need another adjective. We're going with grandpa is being used as an adjective in grandpa lore. What type of lore? Grandpa lore. And that's what we're doing as the noun that follows. In, let's do smucky dick sexual. Yep, that's what we're doing. Whoa. Now I need another adjective. Daha. I need to just start taking them. And now it duels with a plural noun. Boba. Yep, that works out perfect for a Star Wars ad lib. Now we need, let's shuffle it up again. We're almost done here. Two more sentences. I need an adjective, mighty boosh. We did that. Now I need a verb, a noun and a verb. We're doing a college nap. That actually works out perfect. Now I need an adjective, thigh squeeze. I'm just putting it there. Sue me if it don't make sense. I want my thigh squeeze in it. And then the last sentence here, savage plague. What is this? Oh, Native Americans. Whoa, brother. Can you guys read that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of wild. But that's the Urban Dictionary for you.
That's what we're... Oh, wait.
That's what we're here for.
Go back. Sorry, gang. Whoa. What? Cridwazzle? I don't know if I should be saying some of these words out loud. But...
Yeah, watch out. Watch out.
I'm going to say it, though. These are, to me, in my lexicon, these are made-up words. All right, we're going to just start reading the sentence, and the last couple I'm going to fill with this last page here as we go. So, roll with me, folks, as I read you a Star Wars story. Remove this. This Mad Lib put together by Urban Dictionary. Star Wars is a knob and butt beard of a Swicky versus evil in a poolside far, far away. There are grandpa lore battles between smucky dick sexual dahas in Boba's space and duels with Mighty Boosh called thigh squeeze sabers. There we go. There's so much to this. Sorry. Catskills Adventure Resort is a power called the college nap. Oh, this is we might not do the
You have to have it pre-printed so you can just write it down as you do it, Alex.
I agree. That I could agree with.
This was a fail.
I didn't think we were going to be... Doug, say it again, and I will literally hang you by your underwear. You know what? That might need to go on the wheel.
Put it on the wheel. There you go. There's a good idea. Put it on the wheel.
The Jedi Savage page uses the Force for the Cridwazzle side and the Sith for the Jolly Rancher side.
I'm for the Jolly Rancher side, let me tell you.
Doug, you are a Sith. And the Sith uses carcass time for the piss shivers time. Oh my God.
Wow.
We should never do this again.
That's crazy.
I do agree, Alex. You know, you brought it up. You really should be able to search the type of word you want when you do the random.
That's what I'm saying. If I could just go, give me an adjective. You have the whole dictionary for it. That was quite a lot of work.
I mean, they didn't make it easy for you, Urban Dictionary. Boo, Urban Dictionary. Boo.
See, now, Doug, you're allowed. You could do that 10 times over.
That nigga sank, bro. That nigga sank.
Doug, or Ricky, that wasn't allowed to be in the statement. I need to be able to read it. All right. I appreciate everybody that joined us to the end. Doug, you're right. It was a fail, but at least we had some fun. So if we made you laugh,
so much more fun than just me and Silent trying to play the wiki hole by ourselves.
Yeah, that is true.
That was tough. That was tough.
The wiki hole today because Ricky could have helped, and I got to say the wiki hole that we've got loaded up for the next time we land on it is a good one. So I'm excited for you guys to get on it. So, guys, without further ado, let me kick it to Silent. Silent, tell the folks where they can find you.
Kick.com/Silent Destroyer, live every single day. Check it out. We're going to Japan next month.
Woo! Coming up, so you don't want to miss that. Those are really great. That being said, as Ricky's excited, don't miss Silent. But that being said, Ricky, tell them where to find you.
Just Another Day TV, man. I'm going to put out some tent content.
Really?
We out. Yeah, man. Just little clips and snippets. We outside.
Cool. We outside. Make sure to check out Just Another Day TV as well. And guys, we appreciate you joining us. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So be like everybody else in the comments, be a part of the dialogue. Be sure to be here live so you can add your perspective to the conversation here and help us expand a little bit further and break us out of our echo chamber. Otherwise, guys, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best you could do to support what we did today is like the episode. If you liked it, that someone else you know will too. So be sure to assist us in our fight against the algorithms and share that link. Like I said, if you liked it, then that means someone else will too. So share the link because it really helps what we're doing here. Otherwise, guys, be sure to head to the Neuro Gym where you can head into the forum for our Wheel of Topics and add a topic, a game, so a segment you'd like to see us end our episodes with. This is where you can be a feature in our episodes. So head on over to the Neuro Gym, become a member. It's free, and be a part of the conversation. We're all over there talking and hanging out. So hang out with us. Otherwise, be sure to join us. We're here every Tuesday. Doug and I also have a Sunday show this Sunday, while still keeping it humorous. We're getting a little biblical on our reactions channel all summer. We've been laughing at the AI videos that have taken storm on the internet. And this week's theme is the reimagination of all these biblical stories. And last week, we reimagined in history. We've done Bigfoot. We've done an episode of all of Bigfoot's mythical friends. DC, Marvel, Harry Potter, Star Wars. We've hit them all. But also, we've got a big jam-packed summer coming up. This Sunday is, like I had mentioned, our biblical episodes, and it's going to be funny. Yes, it's a Sunday. Wake up, have a cup of coffee with us, but it's all for yucks and take a break from all the politics and the chaos. You don't have to be a Christ lover to have a fun Sunday with us. But the 2 Sundays following are going to be the ones that I think we're going to have the most fun with. We are going to be having our unrated episode, which you can find only on the Neuro Gym. And then we're also going to be doing a live evening episode because you can't be doing horror AI episodes on a Sunday morning. So close out your evening. Maybe have a glass of wine with us instead of a cup of coffee. And maybe we'll get a jump scare out of you. But either way, we're definitely going to be having some laughs. Closing out August, we're going to have Cartoon Network AI videos. As a Scooby-Doo fan, that's what I'm most looking forward to. But there's all your favorites from Cartoon Network. And then we're going to be going to aliens. The following week is going to be animals. Then we're going to be getting to old people. And then we're going to be doing our series finale, closing it out with all the episodes that may not have been able to fit in any of the other topics or just honorable mentions. That being said, that's every Sunday at 11 a.m. So be sure to get there. But also in August, I haven't been able to hit this graphic for a while, so I'm excited. The Sunday football review will be coming in the end of August, so get excited. Just a couple more weeks before the football season, which all of this can be found on our reactions channel, Rethink Actions. But if you're looking where you could find all of this content, the podcast, the live show, Rethink Actions, and everything else, you can find it in one central place, and that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So be sure to head over there, become a member of the Neuro Gym, further expand our dialogue for free. And guys, otherwise, we'll be looking forward to catching you next time. Peace.